let me check if you can hear me. I think you can. Here's my mic. All right, I'm going live exactly at 8, and I wanted to share with you some information. Hi, Samantha. I wanted to share some information that is happening right now, and everybody is feeling that in a different way. It doesn't have to be dramatic. And first of all, this is what I actually wanted to say in the beginning. All the celestial events like eclipse, conjunctions, different kind of unification of the planets are not happening to trigger us and to put us into suffering, but actually they are only serving us to develop to the next level. But why we are constantly being pressed by these events is because we are not aligned with our physical, spiritual, and emotional health. So if somebody, I actually personally know people who right now are experiencing amazing time, like they're traveling, they're having the most calm phase of their life, and everything is flowing. And somebody is really getting sick, somebody is dealing with some conflicts and losses and etc. So it doesn't have to be a dramatic experience, but no matter how you are experiencing that, you always can track that and understand what is happening, because we are not just people living our simple daily life. We are under constant influence of the celestial bodies and all the currents that are like rivers, flowing throughout the universe, and they touch us personally. So there is some information which I read in internet, and it's really nice to research sometimes, but I don't fully trust that because it's very general, and most of the time it's really scary. So the topic of my live video is called internal apocalypse. The word apocalypse usually is associated with something really like the end of the world, which is in truth, from Greek, it translates as, the meaning has something like unveiling that which you didn't see before you had to unveil. So the process of unveiling can be really painful. When you need to look into the truth of who you are, that can be really painful experience. And that's why we have tendency to run away and ignore. Like we will make ourselves busy with something else so we can avoid looking inside. So this is the time. Tomorrow in our northern hemisphere is going to be full moon and lunar eclipse. This moment is really shaking. And then after 2 days, we are going into phase of testing. Okay. And the thing is, some people think, oh, in 2 days, we have the conjunction of Saturn and Pluto. I need to be careful in that day, which is actually not only that day, because these two planets are the most distant. And that's why they're called slow planets, because they come into such activity in a very rare time. The last time it was 37 years ago. It happens very rarely, but the influence and effect of it, the impact is really deep. So if we actually think of what are the planets, we might think, okay, there is a phone. Oh, there is a planet somewhere there. So we don't actually realize its massive sizes and the movement and the time that it takes to move through a certain position in the sky, in the space. So what is going to happen in 2 days is not a 1 day or 2 day event. Hello, Jessica. We're actually going to make a podcast with Jessica exactly on the day when Pluto and Saturn conjunct together. This is amazing. This is like meant to happen. So this period, this event will last, affecting each one within a different period of time. So let's say, for example, me, I maybe will be affected for, let's say, a week. Somebody will feel it for a month, and then it will echo and echo throughout this year. So actually 2020 is very rich with all these celestial events that are transformative, and it's changing the concrete point of view of everything on earth. So tonight, later, I'm actually already finished my newsletter. I'm gonna send newsletter to all the women in my list to more details of what to expect this year. So if you want to be in that list, jump in and send me your email. If you don't want to show it in the chat, just you can send me personal message. So this year is going to be really strong. It's going to shake us people and Earth on a very strong level, which is already happening. So Australia, before Amazon forest. So what's happening with Mother Earth is really strong. And this is only a reflection of what's happening inside of each one of us. Each one of you, I swear you can vote to that events in your life are going so fast. Something is being manifest fast. Something is really changed fast. Something is like moving. You get new news every day. Yeah. So things are dropping or being born, and the time is speeding up. Means that karma is speeding up as well, because actually time is karma. So with the time you get results, and the actions that you plant are the seeds every day. They will not take long to wait. We don't have time for that anymore. And today I sat and I was like writing so much. I actually downloaded, I don't know if you're aware or not. So I'm working with information, and I work with the pendulum, and I extract the information, the different meanings, what's happening. So I have understanding what this event means personally for me, because this year is actually very intense for me in a good way. So I extracted some information. I will try to transmit it to you in a very how to say, basic language, because the information that is coming out is not like, oh, okay, everybody, you need to do this or you need to do that. So as if it's coming down to me, it's coming from a level which is high consciousness, and that's why the language can be really interesting, so it takes time to interpret that. So first of all, the meaning of Saturn is calming, it's peace, it's calming down. And it has a meaning also of receiving information and predictions. So this is the influence of Saturn, okay? The Pluto, on the other side, will force you to admit to passions and desires. So passions are not here meant like something that is positive, you having passion for this or that. No, I don't mean that. If you research what are like the passions of Christ, the passions are emotional experience that trigger you to take choices that will have painful influence. So let's say anger, lust, lying, suffering, and every time you choose something to sabotage yourself, you are putting yourself into passion. So you're putting yourself into friction where you start like, you know, and you didn't have to do that. So Pluto is also called the dark planet, which will really reveal where you are having addictions to those passions that you constantly run to. So look what's happening. Saturn is a piece and receiving information from another level, and predictions. And then we have the opposite, which is the passion and stirring the addictions. And they come together, pound, like, okay, what does this mean? So it's actually opening the doors, and you are going to walk. Where are you going to walk? Whether you are going to calm down or you're going to stir your passions more. How do you stir your passions? Well, something shows up, somebody enters, tells you something, and you react. We had this conversation just like 30 minutes ago with one woman who is in this chat as well. So just like silly things you were told and you react like, oh my God. And these are the passions. Hold on, take a space, take a step back, and realize that what is said, you are just reacting to the superficial. You need to notice not what you are being said or what people do around you. You need to notice your reaction and work only with that. So then there is, regarding exactly this event, there is a message. So I'm in my work, I'm based on the concept of primordial mother, okay? Whether you refer to her as the mother of the universe, goddess, whatever. So if you ask me where is God, yeah, God exists, but God was prior to mother. So God or creator created mother, and then mother created us and everything that you know on the matter universal level. So it's not, we cannot say that creator created us, okay? Mother created us, and in a way creator did that through her. So I'm not gonna go deep into this because it's a very very complicated concept, but I'm slowly I will be sharing that. So anyways, right now the earth is not actually the mother, the primordial mother. It's one of her physical manifestations. Like, for example, you have a spirit and you have body, yeah, bones and skin and etc. So the same way, this is a part of her body. Also planets, also constellations, these are all parts of her physical manifestation. So her physical manifestation is under illness. She is in a way sick, but she is not being how to say, compromised. She's not suffering. She is trying to show us like pound slap on the face to wake up. Now, what does she want? So this is the message that came to me. Mother is showing us, she is indicating us to dig into gratitude and calming down. These two things she wants us to do. So there was a very clear message. Primordial mother has a desire. What kind of desire? Calmness and gratitude. So look what's happening right now. There are so many reasons to go and fight, to go to a conflict, to go and to create like movement against Middle East conflict, against burning in Australia, and so many things. But actually, the primordial mother doesn't want us to do that. The more chaos grows, the more we need to ground into gratitude. So the more suffering you see around, you have to be more grateful, not for the suffering that is happening, but for what you have. So it's cultivating, it's becoming the gratitude. So it means that you will not react. Nothing can shake you in that state. Now, it is said that in that moment, if you have not estimated, evaluated your inner deepest self, that inner deepest self will be suppressed. So what does it mean? When most of the time, so I'm not referring to self-esteem and confidence. These are like, how to say, these are just toys comparing to what it's meant to be here. So your deep self, we know in this all esoteric stuff about higher self, right? These are two different things. Actually, to connect with the higher self, we first need to fall down and find the depth. The level of depth is the seed. The seed means how we were created. That force, or the primordial mother who conceived us, and she installed a certain qualities in us. Now, these qualities are your willpower and your choice. Okay? It means that you, by her blessing, by her creation, she gave you all the tools to do whatever the F you want. And nothing can stop you, and no one can judge you, and no one can actually punish you because it's your choice. Now, when you are born, everything you do today is a result of your choice. So if you are suffering right now, you chose that. If you are having disease, you chose that. So this is something very common to say and trendy, but do we actually understand? So when you have that choice, it means that in the moment when you were born, you chose to be born, and you were installed a certain qualities. When you start using those qualities as your tools in everyday life, it means that you value your deepest self. Okay, so it's actually not very easy for me to explain how to value your deepest self, because some things are not on the level of words, and like when I'm trying to explain them, it's really losing the meaning. But it's also a process. It's not that somebody is born with that. We need to reestablish that, because we can learn from the primordial mother, or just if we don't know how to connect with her, we can look at the nature. The nature doesn't doubt itself. Whether there is peace and paradise, or whether the Australia is burning, it's burning with perfect confidence. Okay, because it knows what it's doing. We don't know why it's happening. We are feeling miserable for that, for all the animals, but in the bigger plan, there is a meaning behind that, and there is a plan for that. Now, we need to learn how to value that inner deeper self. Every time when you doubt yourself, and every time when you react to something, every time when you are not taking care of yourself, you are not valuing your deepest self. And you are actually turning your back against the force that created you. Now, what is happening right now, it's a test. You are being checked. We are being checked. How are we able to transmit and to transport to the next level? So we will be checked. Do we value ourselves? So, for example, let's say there is a demonstration outside. Yeah, we just had recently like climate crisis demonstration. Everybody went out, and in that gathering, there is a tendency when people lose sense of grounding and sense of here and now, and they become very emotionally engaged, overwhelming. So in that moment, you are actually losing that center in yourself, and you are being driven by others' concept. So somebody started screaming bad words, and then the other started, and then the other, and you're like, yeah. So we are throwing that into collective movement. But was that your choice initially? So always scrolling back and understanding, what was your choice? Why did you come here? So you came here to do peace. So why are you screaming? So all the time, it's very easy in a second to lose that. Why did I come here? Why did I start this work? Why did I wear these pants? Why did I marry this man? Oh, that's why I did. Okay, so how can I go back to this initial plan? And if I don't resonate with it anymore, what am I doing here? I need to leave. I need to leave these relationships. I need to leave this job. I need to leave whatever. So this conjunction of Pluto and Saturn will force us to break free from anything that is not, whether you need to accept that and be with that and be loyal, or you need to abandon that. If you stay in certain conditions where you're still forcing yourself, that is violence. You are raping yourself, and through that, you are raping primordial matter. So this is where you lose the value of all your existence. Now, so I'm gonna read now, and I wrote in Russian, so I'm going to translate, so maybe I'll be a little bit slower. So the message word by word. Here and now, gain willpower to transit from external to internal. Okay, so in the internal work, no, not like this. In the self-development work, we have a tendency to do external things. So let's say, oh, I'm going to read this amazing book about spirits, or I'm going to go and do this shamanic breath work, or I'm going to go and do ecstatic dance. I will smudge in my house. I will sit and chant. All of this is external and it's secondary. It's not the real work. Now, the real work requires balls, okay, and courage. So that's why it says that here and now gain the will of power, because in order to go inwards, you need a really willpower. Just think of it. Can you sit for 20 minutes quietly without distracting yourself, just being focused on your breath? Wow, it's not easy. Just the mind, the nature of the monkey mind will drag you everywhere. Now, when you go inwards, I'm continuing reading. You need to open the deeper self in order to discover the image of the gap between thoughts, feelings, and actions. So I'm going to repeat. When you go inwards, you will open the image. So each one of you will have your own image. The image of the gap. So how does the gap look for you? Or for you, it's like this. Or for Nitu, it felt like this. For Susan, it's like this. For Samantha, it's like this. So we will all experience, and maybe you will visualize it, see it. And that gap exists between thoughts, feelings, and actions. If you will notice that when you are thinking of something, this internal dialogue, it's like just chatter. There are no gaps. But when you sit internally and start breathing, of course, noticing there is a gap between thoughts. And these gaps are like very subtle rivers. So when you catch that flow, you can ride it, okay? And that's where the help comes from primordial mother. So this is what is said. When you are jumping back to the thoughts and actions and feelings, you are losing it. So the only way, the only door, and it's very narrow, it's very subtle, you know, like a vein. For doctors to catch a vein, it's really challenging because the vein moves all the time. So it's like you're trying to catch that vein of the gap where there are no thoughts and no actions and no feelings. And in that gap, well, first you will take time to just catch that flow. But when you catch, just go there with an intention to create dynamics of recreating yourself from inside. So as an example, so I'm sitting there, I'm sensing all this chatter and thoughts and feelings. But then I start noticing there is a pause or silence, like a void between. Okay, when you start noticing them, the more you look at them, they start growing. When they start growing, I feel how I'm entering them, but now I have an intention: recreate myself, recreate myself. So why am I going to this flow current? Recreate myself. So, and then it says, finishing the critical days by a prayer. Now, the critical days are meant these days that we are going through. We are going towards the end, or actually you can even start now, a prayer. So what is a prayer? Prayer is not something that you're going to find in the Bible, in Quran, or any other holy book. It's your private, intimate prayer that you create. And I want to tell something here. That woman's prayer that comes from her real true self and from her heart, like she has nothing else to lose, is the strongest shit on planet. Sorry for this word, but it's really powerful. Even in Kabbalah, it says that because of prayers of matriarchs in the history, the world was saved so many times. We can refer as an example to a prayer of a mother. Can you imagine a woman who is a mother whose child is mortally ill, okay? It's an inevitable sickness. She would go and just stay in the church and pray and pray and pray. So it is believed that such prayer of such woman is heard by angels, by God, by everything, whatever you name it. So, and her prayer will be heard. That's why women are the main space holders for praying on earth. But we should not pray in the way that we are taught. It's a mechanical repetition of some words that were not created from inside. So as you will finish this process, maybe you will also channel your internal prayer from that gap flow between the thoughts and the feelings. Let it come to you. And if it will be something very clear and you can write it down, let it be your prayer. And in that prayer, intention is to remember your true depth. So this is the intention. The prayer, it says you will create the prayer, but the intention behind it is to remember who you are from the beginning. Okay? And if we just talk about it, we all can say, oh, I'm beautiful from the beginning, I'm abundant, and I'm healthy, and I'm happy. These are all words, and they are very general. When we talk about it, it doesn't mean anything. It has to be real. So you will remember, again, all of us, like 5 people in this video right now, if we do this collectively, and then we will share, each one of you will have a unique journey. That's why this all work cannot be transmitted into groups, and that's why one of the reasons why I stopped doing workshops. That's why I work privately, because like how can we sit 2 hours of a workshop, 10 women, like really, how can I generalize? And for me, it's a waste of time and money. So next, the thing is, what is this year will elevate a lot of psychosis internally, depression, disappointment, and worry. Okay, we already have it, but in this year there will be more reasons to trigger those, and you need to remember that there is a plus in that. The plus is that it warns you. So imagine that the psychosis, depression, disappointments is a wall. Okay, every time when you feel it, it's like you hit the wall and it tells you go back. you are going in wrong direction. So whenever you are feeling something like depression, internal psychosis, and worry, it means you are hitting that wall which tells you don't go here, turn around and walk to another direction. The bad thing about it is that it's not first a new thing, it's repeating. So the primordial mother is telling us that we are really silly because we are keeping to repeat the same lessons, and we don't learn from there. So what can we do here? Why we keep repeating is because we don't identify the independency of mentality. What does it mean? We do not recognize when our mental process is mine or somebody else. Okay, so in that mental process, for example, I'm having a psychosis and worry about something. And I'm thinking, it's like, for me, I call it mental masturbation. Okay, you just keep doing it, and you're having pleasure and pain at the same time. So the thing is, in that thoughts, 90% and sometimes 100% of these thoughts are not yours. They are not original thoughts. So we don't have, or we forgot the ability to identify right now this psychosis that I'm experiencing. Is it even mine? Or did I attract from somebody? Because it doesn't have to be somebody exactly a certain person. It can be just collective. Because collective egregor or collective cloud, let's say like collective cloud, we live in it. It's a society. It's a collective mind that constantly just downloads the thoughts constantly. And in that you have ability to recognize this is not mine. So if it's not mine, it's not true. It's a lie. So all the psychosis I'm having right now, let's say about money, it's not mine. Because this fear of money, it exists as long as we exist. So let me see. I need to breathe a little bit. Requires ovaries? What do you mean need to? Requires ovaries, of course. Requires everything. Hello, Masha. Hello, Simona. Oh my God, everybody's here. Just throw me some questions, but I'm gonna send email. It's already ready. I just need to make like some designs, some nice pictures, and then I'm gonna send it out. So yeah, tomorrow, be ready. And throughout this year, it's actually good if you will minimize your tools of improving yourself, because the esoteric spiritual market becomes like a fast food. Yeah, we are jumping from one thing to another. We don't go into depth, but we go into quantity. There is no quality anymore. So it's actually good to establish or re-establish loyalty to something one, and then just abandon everything else. Believe in something one and do that work throughout the year. The thing is, which I'm putting also in the email, is that the change does not happen in a month or 2 months or 3 months. It's actually need to reoccur throughout a long period of time. Practice is something like years. Like, I'm sorry, today our market offers us, oh, I did this breath work 2 times in December, and now I feel like I shifted and something opened. Like, seriously, this is bullshit. Such things do not help. It's not bad, but it's not the work. The work is completely different. The work is where you overcome resistance. You wake up at 5 or 6 or 7 a.m. and you put yourself in your position and you do the work. Every day, no matter what happens, even if your neighbors are on fire, you are doing the work. So this requires balls, and we have them. That's not, now I understood what she meant. Yes, actually, balls are the ovaries. First they were ovaries, and then when the embryo decided it wants to be a boy, the ovaries, they descended and they became balls. This is cute. Yeah. So, all right. So I'm gonna, one announcement. Not tomorrow. After tomorrow, there is a free webinar about moon. So I'm offering a class about moon medicine, where I will share what is moon, where is it coming from, what does it mean, why we need to tune up with these cycles and how it can affect and what are the benefits and blah, blah, blah. So if you want to be part of it, go to my website. I'm going to put a link here right now, and you can attend for free. Yeah. So go to live meetings. Yeah, you know, Mariana, one of my thing that I'm very straightforward and I'm very strict with my clients. Some of them can agree here. So I don't waste time because I love to name things the way they are. And there is no more time. We have all the time to work on ourselves, but we don't have time to waste anymore. So no more wasting. So on 11th, I'm gonna wait for you. It's Vancouver time, 9 a.m. If you cannot join, you will always see it on YouTube. So I'm putting these monthly moon meetings on YouTube and you can watch it. And yeah, that's it. So we are, I wanted to share something personally with you. So this year, actually, when it's my birthday on 24th February, the moon will be exactly in that phase and 1 day old as it was when I was born. So I want you to check what's happening. You can Google that. You can check in which position, in which, how old was the moon when you were born, and what's happening with your with these positions this birthday this year, because this conjunction of Saturn and Pluto happened last time 37 years ago. And in my newsletter, I'm referring to very strong global events that happened around that year. And every time when this conjunction happened, if you are also experiencing something like alignment, it means that this year for you is a badass year. So it's like you are reborn. This year, you have to do a job or work that will make you recreate yourself. I actually started really strong. Like I feel I'm doing it all my life, but the last 10 months, I've been working on really deep cutting cords. And I'm now only starting to receive the fruits of it. And they're amazing. But this work took me like 10 months of like really, okay, straightforward. I'm doing that. And I had to go to really extreme things. So this is the price we need to pay, but it's beautiful. Like, for example, I shave my hair. I'm joking. This is for another reason. It was just my choice. But so just check what's happening with your moon, with your birthday this year. And if you will have any questions, reach out. I'm always happy to support or check information if you want. So I'm gonna see you on 11th on the moon meeting. Go ahead and register. And I'm sending all the hugs and love and light. And just don't think of this period of this year as a scary one. It's a chance to really grow up. To attract something you really want to attract. But okay, not bad. It's taking too long. I can talk for days and days. Okay, so thank you very much. Goodbye.